Hello there, gang. Hey, it's Thursday, July 22nd, and it's just going on, it's like, well, 7:45 now. And I thought I would, I'm playing a little bit of catch up here. I'm trying to do upgrades on some of my collections. Tonight, as you have read, it is my XTC 7-inch collection. And this is it. This is pretty much where I'm going to stop. I think, unless I get a windfall of cash and I can find their very first single, like the EP tracks. Man, I can't even remember the titles of those songs, but that would be cool to get like a French or a German copy of that. And maybe the withdrawn single from None Such. Yeah, that'll happen. So anyway, I'm going to burn through this pretty quickly, I think, but I am going to show all the posters and different fold-out stuff. This will probably be the definitive collection, and I guess I'll keep the first one in my the one that I did a while ago. I guess I'll just keep it in there. Why delete it? But I'll just make a note in there that there is a second, more complete one that I'm filming right now. So anyway, to get down to business, and different music too. I'm using this spacey music, man. I'm gonna use this space music on all my videos now because it's almost like it just mellows people out. It keeps me company, but it's mellow. So, in fact, I have a feeling people are falling asleep, maybe even right now. But anyway, all right, let me get down to business. And here's the very first XTC single from 1978, actually, off their first album, Statue of Liberty, and Hang On to the Night. I'm gonna pull it out here and show it to you. Here it is. And here's the B-side, Hang On to the Night. I absolutely love this collection. I think that Virgin Records is a great company. I love what Richard Branson built. I know Andy's got issues with the company, but I think it's probably, well, he probably has some valid gripes, but I don't know what they are. All I'm saying is, I think that they put out a great product. I think this is awesome. And I will show you each record. Statue of Liberty. Oh, I didn't. Oh, my daughter just sent me a message. All right, and anyway, Sharon, I missed that message. Anyway, they're in a, oh, I guess the kids might be here sleeping. They're driving from the Poconos tonight, so, and the kids are with them. Anyway, we're going off on tangents here, but here is the very first single. I don't know if this is a first pressing of Statue of Liberty, but it's what I have. Snack time. I'm reading all these things. He's watching a movie. Okay, I'm reading all these messages. So there's Statue of Liberty. B-side is Hang On to the Night. Yeah, let's see. Maybe oh, 8/3. So this is a third. Well, I don't know. All right. So that's Statue of Liberty. Slightly edited. version from the album version, just a little bit longer. This is an edit. All the single versions that are edited are available on their very first greatest hits album, and probably on some subsequent releases that are on CD. All right. Some singles though has the single edits of the songs that are on there. So that's the very first XTC single, VS 201, right? And their next one, you tell me. I see it from here, XTC. This is, and they even give you a hint, pop. Oh, it's a question. This is pop? So there's your question mark. B-side is Heatwave. I remember when I got this, and I didn't even know about Heatwave. I didn't know that there was a single with the B-side, Heatwave. I was unaware of the song. And I remember when I got this, I was like so excited. XTC, they're so cool. So here you go. Here's another different label for this is pop, and it's a different version than the LP version. This is a totally different recording, and that's what early on, that's what made XTC so exciting to me. You never knew what you were going to hear, man. I thought this was going to be an LP version, and then you have this B-side, Heatwave. And lo and behold, this is a whole different recording. And I love that. I just absolutely loved this band when I first got into them, which was actually on Drums and Wires. That was my first record. That was my first record and my first LP that I scored by these guys. And it was a UK pressing with the single and the lyric sheet that has all the lyrics for all the albums and all the singles. So there you go. So here is This Is Pop, VS 209 from 1978. Here's their third single, Are You Receiving Me? VS 231. And the B-side is Instant Tunes, another non-album track. Here you go. A lot of these singles have, some of them have solid centers, but a lot of the early ones have these push-out centers, which I find cool. I like them. I like the push-out center. I think it's neat. Are You Receiving Me? And Instant Tunes. So cool. Great songs. All of these songs are great songs. I think all of XTC's B-sides are just fantastic. And I love the designs. I love these picture sleeves. It's so cool because in England, a lot of bands, well, I mean, this came out in the late 70s, and in England, a lot of their single releases didn't have any picture sleeves. But I guess, you know, when you got into the punk thing, You know, these, I guess in England, you know, all those record companies started to think, well, I think maybe a picture sleeve's a good idea. Sure, of course. You know, so it's rare that XTC, well, I can't think of a release that didn't have a picture sleeve out of England. Of course, there are other regions where they have different picture sleeves, and you'll see some of those that are newer in my collection coming up. Also, after Are You Receiving Me, that's off of, actually that's a non-LP A-side, although in America, Are You Receiving Me was on the album, but it wasn't on the album in England. But that is the last single that has Barry Andrews on it. I think it's the last one. There is a flexi disc. I think he might be on that flexi disc, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I do have all three of Barry Andrews' 7-inch releases that I'm aware of anyway. And here's the Town and Country EP. So I'm going to show you all of Barry Andrews' singles, since he was such a big part of the first two albums. He was part of XTC, so I kind of have a fond place for Barry in my heart, my musical heart. And so here is Town and Country, the Town and Country EP. Here's the B-side. See, it's a little bit beat up, but not too bad. And those are the tracks. All right, and there's the Dirty Rat that got his. And here is the record itself. Beautiful. I mean, I'm real lucky, man, because just about every single one of my XTC singles is in beautiful, immaculate shape. Mint, near mint. It's rare that they're very good plus. All right, so and there you go. I love even just the regular red and green labels. I love them. I think they're awesome. And that little logo right there, I love it. I love it. Frank Zappa said that it is like a fetishist behavior to like your records, and I guess he's right. You know, Zappa wanted, he got early in the digital age. He was really into pushing you know, streaming, music streaming. So and I never even really got into it. I got into CDs. I always wanted a physical product, and it drove me nuts if you were streaming music and it would stutter, it would skip, or it would stutter, it would stop and start. I'm like, I can't deal with that. When I put my music on, I want it to start and to finish. I don't want any skips. I don't want to hear it pause. I don't want to deal with any of these maladies that you have with streaming. So I like the physical product. And of course, I mean, that can happen with your CD player. You stick a CD in there and blah, blah, blah. Same thing with an album or a single. You can put it on and maybe it'll skip, or it'll skip backwards and it'll keep repeating that one groove. Okay, yeah, sure, that can happen. But it doesn't happen, at least with my records, it doesn't happen with my albums and my singles, because I take good care of them. So Here's the next Barry Andrews release. All right, this is, what is this? Rossmore Road and Win a Night Out with a well-known paranoiac. And this is VS 378. So, I believe these are all non-album tracks. All right, so here's this. Here's the back. And here is the single. It is Rossmore Road, Northwest 1 is what it says. And this is 327? The time is 3:27, I think, on that A side. All right. And Win a Night Out with a well-known paranoiac. This is a long track. This is 6:19. 6 minutes and 19 seconds. All right. Some of Barry's wacky tunes. Was this 3:27? Right. So it's like his Hey Jude, Rossmore Road. Now I'm pulling out the last Barry Andrews single so that I can show it to you. This came out in 1980. This came out in 1981. Same song, but a different edit. I believe this is a shorter version. I think it's a shorter version. And this one that came out in 81, which is VS 428. It's even got a slightly different photograph. I mean, the picture's got a different tone to it, different tint, right? And a different B-side. It's got, here, let me put this away. Let's put that a little bit. And what's the B-side? Oh, Pages of My Love. Well, there you go. Right? I don't know if you want to try to read all that stuff. Yeah, man. And Pages of My Love. And yeah, 356, a little bit longer. I think it's the same recording, but it's just they let the fade go a little bit longer, so you get more of the song. I think it's the exact same recording though, or maybe they added something or took something out of it. But I did A/B them when I first got these singles, which was several months back, and I didn't hear any real difference other than the fact that that earlier release was a little shorter. But you get two different B-sides, and I thought that these were in beautiful shape. In fact, I got these from my friend Jody and Joe. Both of these I think I got from Jody and Joe. Thank you, Jody and Joe. You guys, I want to thank you for these beautiful records. Right, so there's Barry Andrews on record. And here's this thing. Here's my Flexi disc. This came with Flexi Pop magazine. Flexi Pop magazine was a a magazine that stuck around for about 2 years, I think, 2 or 3 years maybe. And this particular release, this was Flexi Pop 16. Came out every month. Oh, she wants to say hi. Hi there. Oh, hi. Hey, lady. That was on the other side of this. Anyway, this was the last page. I turned it into a little record sleeve for my Flexi Pop Flexi disc. Flexi Pop. In the old video, I said Flexi Pop. And then I cracked myself up. I thought that was really very funny. Ho, ho, ho. So here's Looking for Footprints. And this was the first time I heard Looking for Footprints. And it sounds like an outtake from one of their first 2 albums. It sure does sound like Barry Andrews on keyboards, on organ. It sounds like his style. It sounds like his organ. His organ. Ha! So, and it's weird, a flexi disc. You see the front of it, but the music is on this side. On right here is where the groove is. And you plop your needle down and you play it at 33. And if it slips on your turntable, you're supposed to put like a penny here or something to keep it from slipping. So they think of everything. But anyway, here's Looking for Footprints. This is probably the last thing that Barry is on. I think it's Barry. When the box set came out, I got a little confused. It seemed to indicate that it was a track from Drums and Wires, and it sure as heck doesn't sound like a track from Drums and Wires. But maybe I'm wrong. It's a possibility. Anybody out there who happens, one of you 2 people who are going to watch this video, if you know anything about it, maybe you can help me out there. But here is your Flexi. Your XTC Flexi. So anyway, here it is. I think it would be fun to get a test pressing. So I had a hard copy of this instead of the Flexi disc. I've tried playing Flexi discs on my turntable, and that turntable, as good as it's supposed to be, it had a problem playing my some of my other Flexi discs, so I never did try playing this one. Like you care. Here, give me a second. Nice. All right, man. The next single is a non-album track from before Drums and Wires came out, and it's a non-album track in England anyway. In America, it is on the album Drums and Wires. So here is Life Begins at the Hop with Homo Safari on the B-side. This is a British single. Oh, and if you look at the back, first of all, you can see that it's got a different label. It's got a black label, like the beer, and it's got a Girard turntable that you can see in this clear plastic, that it looks like it's playing this record. Life Begins at the Hop. And when you take the record out, you can see it's clear. And you can also see that the one that they have in here is Are You Receiving Me? So they They have so much fun with their packaging. I love it. I think it's Andy who took over the packaging after the very first single picture sleeve. I don't think I think for Statue of Liberty he was real disappointed with that particular design. I don't see a problem with it, but then I'm into the music and not much into the well, I'm into the artwork. I'm just saying I'm not a designer of artwork. I wouldn't know what I'm doing. Put a picture of the band on it, right? A lot of times you don't even see the picture of the band. There is no picture of the band. So, but anyway, here is Life Begins at the Hop, the A side, VS 259, and here's the B side. Oops, Homo Safari. Very funky little tune. A funky little instrumental. It is the very first track of a series of 6 tracks that extended all the way to the Mummer album. Oh, and let me take out, let's take this out. All right, and this opens up. Oh. Are you receiving me? VC community, are you receiving me? So cool, man. I love this. All right, and here is so this little package opens up, and here are all the records they have already released up to this point. So you see White Music, a title that they did not like and they did not want to use. White Music. Here's Go To, and here is their 3D EP. And then here are the first 3 singles I just showed you. I just showed them to you. And here are the lyrics for Life Begins at the Hop. There are no lyrics for Homo Safari. It is an instrumental, so there's no lyrics. So maybe you can make your own up. You ever do that? It's a lot of fun. That's why I wasn't going in, because I was putting it in wrong. There you go. So there you go, Homo Safari and Life Begins at the Hop. Here's a second copy of that very same record. And here is a British copy of probably the first song that I heard by these guys, Making Plans for Nigel by XTC. And here it is, man. And this is the song that launched my career as a fan of XTC, Making Plans for Nigel. As prolific as Andy is, it was Colin who swept me off my feet. And so here is Making Plans for Nigel, and this is actually an EP, VS 282. And you can see that it's an EP with 2 tracks on the B side here. Oh, whew. Came out of nowhere. My boss was just sending me a message. Shelly, I'll get back to you later. Bushman President and Pulsing Pulsing are the 2 tracks on the B side. Bushman President is the second in that Homo Safari series of 6. I've gotten many and I'm hesitant to respond. I only invest. Oh yeah, I warned her about. Okay. But anyway, so there's the B-side. I love EPs. They're unusual to a lot of Americans because as I was growing up, there weren't a lot of EPs that were released. They were all singles. They had one song on each side. But EPs attract my attention because I think it's cool to have 2 songs on one side or 3 songs on one side. So anyway, and if you notice, I'll point out some of the particulars here. Notice this single has a solid gray label. I'm showing that to you because the next one I show you is slightly different. I'm showing you all these particulars because that's what I like to do. So VS282. Yep, Bushman President is number 2 in the Homo Safari series of 6. It says it right here on the back of the record. Here is the record. Right? So if you want to read it, you can freeze it and read it. Oh, and there it is right there. There's your catalog number right there. All right. Here is the British release of Making Plans for Nigel. Deja vu, right? Except for one thing. They got real fancy, and all you advanced XTC scholars, you know what the heck I'm going to show you here. So they released a regular single in a regular picture sleeve, but Andy, in his wild imagination, developed a board game. And first of all, I'm going to show you the record. Aha! See? What did I tell you? There's that little line there, like the red and green single labels have, but this is a gray label with that white line going through it. And on the back here is another gray label with a line going through it. They didn't reverse it like they do with the red and green ones. So I don't know why it's gray. Maybe because we're talking about, the song sings about British steel, and steel is gray. Tends to be kind of like a gray or shiny gray, I guess, or who knows why. Anyway, there's that little distinction between the regular single that comes in the regular single picture sleeve and the one that comes with the game. All right, the one that comes with the game has the line in it, and here is the full package. All right, now this is my Andy Partridge signature. It's my Andy Partridge signed postcard of the Surround Sound series. This came with my Surround Sound series package, but I keep it with this because it fits so well here, and it doesn't fit well with the CD that it came with. And so here you go. Put this here. You got to be careful because not only do you get this big poster game, but you get these game pieces so that you can cut these out. And here's Nigel. He's bummed out. You can tell. Look at him. That guy's bummed out. Here's mom and dad. They're very pushy. You can tell they're pushy because the dad's got a pipe. I don't know what that means. And then here is your spinner. Instead of rolling dice, you take a pin, you stick a match head, you stick a match stick in here, like something from a pack of matches. You could stick it right through, and you stick the pin right in there, and then you spin it around, and it goes 5. Is that 5? It's 2. Backwards, it looks like a 5. Here, see? The 2 looks like a 5, right? See, this looks like a, never mind. All right, anyway. So here is the, there's 2 pieces that come with this poster game. So here's one piece with the pieces. Now I'm going to show you the game, like I did in the first video. And oh boy, this is crazy because, you know, there's 2 ways to look at this thing. So here is, I guess the parents sit on this side. The parents sit on this side of the game, and Nigel, he sits on this side, right? And here's the rules, okay? If you want to freeze that, you can read the rules. Go ahead, freeze it. Don't think I'm going to stand here for 10 minutes while you read it. It's just not going to happen. So here is Nigel, and here's some notes about Nigel. You'll have to freeze it. And here's the parents. I bet there's a lot of interesting things about them right there. And here is the game board. So it kind of looks like Chutes and Ladders. Sure, that makes sense. I imagine there's some distinction, some differences between this and Chutes and Ladders, because I don't think Andy would just ape Chutes and Ladders. I'm sure he found a way to make it a little bit more interesting. You know, let's face it, mom and dad want Nigel to go to school and get a job. Who the hell wants to do that? Especially when they're just sending you checks by, you know, to sit at home. Boy, that pandemic, holy moly, what a trip. All right, so anyway, so this is Making Plans for Nigel, the board game version. And these singles are, I don't think that these singles are all that difficult to find, quite frankly. I was hoping I'd be able to retire by selling my XTC single collection one day. But, and they, let's face it, this is in great shape. I mean, this is about as near mint as you're going to find, I think. You know, I don't have any cats. I don't smoke cigarettes. So, you know, so these, not in the house anyway. So, so these are in really good shape and they don't stink. They don't have an odor to them. They don't permeate. They don't radiate. They don't resonate. Just the record does. Ah, here is Wait Till Your Boat Goes Down. Wait. This is a non-album A-side. It was recorded at a session. It was not, I think it was a different session for this particular single. It was produced by Phil Wayman and Yeah, he wasn't involved with the production of this. With the production of the songs on Drums and Wires. That was. Oh, come on. How can I? I can't believe I can't remember the guy's name. Steve Lillywhite, and Hugh Padgham helped engineer it. So it was Steve Lillywhite and Hugh Padgham. Hugh Padgham, the guy who started to produce Phil Collins later on. All right, so yeah, produced by Phil Wayman, courtesy of Utopia Records. Sleeve front, Partridge. Back is somebody else. So Andy Partridge developed the sleeve here, the sleeve design here in the front. And Wait Till Your Boat Goes Down was not part of the Drums and Wires sessions, but of course the B-side. Oh, you know, actually, this is interesting. Yeah, of course, the B-side is a different version of 10 Feet Tall. So Phil Wayman produced the B-side, okay, this other version. I'm still learning new stuff about this band, and I just love their catalog. All right, Wait Till Your Boat Goes Down. This is a slightly edited version compared to the one that is on the compilation album, Some Singles, and subsequent compilations that are on CD as well. There's a little section, just an 8-measure section during the like an instrumental break. So anyway, here's the two more non-album tracks, but the B-side or the A-side is a slightly edited one, and I don't know why they edited it, but they did. So this is VS, what is it? VS 322. Wait Till Your Boat Goes Down. Here's one of the new ones that I got. Wait Till Your Boat Goes Down. And this is a, I believe this is a Holland pressing. Oh, and it's, I think that maybe the this version of Wait Till Your Boat Goes Down is a longer version. Is the version that's on the LP compilation and CD compilations. I think it's actually a longer track. It's only longer by 424. And I don't remember if the other one's 424. But anyway, yeah, I can't tell if this is a Holland pressing or a German pressing. Well, they're very, very close to each other. So here you go. And Wait Till Your Boat Goes Down, and 10 Feet Tall. I scored this about a year ago or so, and it is in beautiful shape. Very, very quiet. Both sides. Beautiful shape, and the picture sleeve is in great shape, and I love this picture sleeve. I remember seeing this. I must have seen this many, many times and said, boy, I wish I had that. And I didn't have it. Now I have it, because I like it so much. So there you go, your import. Wait Till Your Boat Goes Down. Here is a one of two domestic EPs. This this was released in America. I remember picking this up, Making Plans for Nigel. Looks very, very similar to the British release. But look it. All right, very different. These are your domestic singles. They don't have the red and green design, but they have a white label with that blue font and that blue line. And This Is Pop. The single version of This Is Pop is on this side, and Mechanic Dancing from Go To is the second track on the B side. And I picked this up from Now and Then in Pennsylvania, across from Lambertville. What's the town? Oh, New Hope, PA. Nice little town, New Hope, Pennsylvania, and Lambertville too. And there's a bridge crossing the Delaware River, so you can walk across the bridge to go to New Hope if you want. And that's often what we would do. We would park it on Lambertville and walk across the bridge, and Now and Then was right there on the left. I don't think it's there anymore. It could still be there. I don't know. You know, record stores, you know, they're going the way of the dodo. Even still, even with how popular vinyl is, record stores are going away because it's so easy to just order it online. I'm gonna miss them if they're all gone. So, but anyway, this American EP, I picked this up, and I picked this one up the very same day from the very same shop. In fact, one was right on top of the other one. They must have got these two EPs that day, or maybe the day before. I don't know. But this is 10 Feet Tall. This is a non-album version. This is the one by Phil Wayman. Yeah. Colin wrote 10 Feet Tall and sings it, of course. But so this is a non-album version of 10 Feet Tall. So if you bought the LP and then you got this EP, you'd have new music. The LP version of Helicopter is on the B side. And the song Somnambulist, or The Somnambulist, is the second track on the B side. And Somnambulist it was a B side from the next album. In England, it was a B-side of Generals and Majors, which is from Black Sea. So, I don't know. I don't know why they did that, but they did it. It was almost like a preview. You know, check out what's coming. So anyway, these are two American EPs. And here's a Japanese EP, Making Plans for Nigel. Let me pop this out. There's your single. On the B side, or on the back of this piece of paper, you get the lyrics for Making Plans for Nigel. And this is a great little release here from that we got from Japan, because it has. Well, at the time it was released, it had 2 exclusive live tracks on the B side. You had This Is Pop and Are You Receiving Me? I love Japanese releases. I love the CDs, and I love the albums, and I love their singles. I love them. Japanese pressings tend to be very, very clean and very quiet. I love my Japanese friends. I love you guys. And so does my son-in-law. He's actually got a lot of Japanese friends, and he visits Japan occasionally when he's got to go out on business. And he's a great guy with great taste. He's my son-in-law. All right, so that's the Japanese single. And here is, sure, our friends up north are getting into the act here. Here is a Canadian release of Making Plans for Nigel. So how many copies of this do I have? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 copies of this song, of the same song. The B-side of this lovely Canadian single is Outside World. And it's the only, I think it's the only region, the only territory, Canada, I believe, is the only territory that released Outside World on a single. I think so. All right, so there you go. And for those of you who are who have the American release of Drums and Wires, you may recognize this EP that came with the album. All right, it has Limelight on the A side, and it has Day In, Day Out and Chain of Command. Day In, Day Out was taken off the album to make room for Life Begins at the Hop. All right, so Day In, Day Out's on here. And Chain of Command as well. So, I guess I better pick it up, man. 52, almost 53 minutes, man. Ooh. I bet you some of you guys, some of you people out there are getting drowsy already, right? Man, it's warm in here. All right, man. We are moving on to the next album. The next album, Black Sea. So here's the first single from Black Sea, Generals and Majors. And Virgin Records is a great, they were so much fun. It was so much fun to collect singles, XTC singles, because this is a double pack. It's a double single with a gatefold sleeve. So it includes a free single. If I can open this up here, I'm trying to be real careful, you know, because that's how you gotta be. So here you go. Here's the here's the sleeve opened up. Here is the here's the inside of it. These guys are trying to figure out how to detonate the atom bomb, or maybe it's a nuclear bomb, without, you know, messing up their hair, I guess. So anyway, they're sitting around talking about stupid stuff, and These little flimsy plastic bottles, I know that plastic is a bad thing. It messes up the environment, but boy, these really thin plastic bottles are so annoying, because if you seal that lid on top real tight, as the inside warms up, this thing starts to creak and make all kinds of freaking noises. And it's really annoying. So I guess I should keep it a little bit loose there. Water damage. All right, so this has an edited version of Generals and Majors, Don't Lose Your Temper on the B-side, and the second record has Smokeless Zone and The Somnambulist, as you saw earlier. And both records look a lot like this. Okay. All 4 tracks are studio tracks and are great songs. Don't Lose Your Temper could have been a hit easily. It's so great. Smokeless Zone was a great song that Colin wrote. I love these 4 songs, and Somnambulist is another Andy Partridge track that is kind of creepy, and it is also very cool. So if this music doesn't make you fall asleep, you must have took your B vitamins. All right, here's the second single release from Black Sea. This is Towers of London. It's another double pack with a really cool package. It's got this sleeve that has the has that little image on it, and here's the first single sleeve. Here's the second, and this has Towers of London, an edited version of Towers of London, but with a bit of music that you don't normally, you wouldn't hear on the LP version. As this is fading out, it doesn't segue into the next album track like it does on the LP. So you get to hear a little bit more music. All right, and little facts like that always would fascinate me, which is why I am the archivist. In my own mind, I'm the archivist. All right, so here's Towers of London. Set Myself on Fire is the B-side. It is I believe it's a BBC track. Recorded live at the Rainbow, September 17th, 1979 by the Manor. Andy and Colin were great. They really did share royalties, because Colin wrote Set Myself on Fire, and it's a great version of a great live version of Set Myself on Fire. All right, and look at these sleeves. I mean, Jesus, they're beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? It's so beautiful. And here is the second single. The labels look basically identical. So it's Battery Brides, another live track from the Rainbow in '79, same show. And Scissor Man, a BBC track, thanks to John Peel. So it's a John Peel track. So here's the front of the single picture sleeve, and here's the back. And what I did was, because all four sides of these picture sleeves seem to be different parts of a day. I went and did a video. If you want to check it out, it's on my it's further down on my YouTube channel. It's one of the earlier things that I did. I took a video software and I took a snapshot of each side of these four singles and made one fade into the next very, very slowly. And I did a version of I created a version of Towers of London that is a longer version of the song because the single version is edited and it fades out. So what I did was I took the LP version of the song and I sort of tacked on the end of the single version, so you don't have it segueing or segueing into the next song like it does on the album. You have a regular fade out ending and you get to hear the music that's at the end of the single A side that you wouldn't, you don't hear because on the album, because it's segueing into the next tune. And you get to see this, you get this video vision of the day, several cycles of a day. If you want to check it out, it's down there somewhere. Surprised it's still on there. I'm surprised nobody flagged it and I didn't get in all kinds of trouble and have to pay publishing for it. So ridiculous. All right, here's another copy of it with the hype sticker, which I removed from here, from this one. Oh, here is a from the Netherlands, I believe. It's Towers of London. This is a obviously a different different sleeve. Towers of London and Battery Brides. Huh. Towers of London and Battery Brides. It doesn't have Set Myself on Fire on the B-side. I wasn't paying attention. Interesting. So you get Battery Brides on the back of this one. See? Very cool. That's funny. I got this single for the cover, so I wasn't really focusing on the music. I just wanted the picture sleeve, which I thought was really cool, and I had seen this many, many times. But Battery Brides is on the B side. I was not paying attention. Oh. VS372, by the way, if you're keeping track of these catalog numbers, which I kind of not doing. I'm kind of falling down on the job here. All right. Here is VS380. All right, it's not really an XTC single, it's by the Colonel, which you know the Colonel is. It's Colonel Klink. No. KFC. No. It's your bass player, your favorite bass player. All right, and he wrote Too Many Cooks in the Kitchen, a spastic little tune, and then which I guess they felt it didn't really fit on Black Sea. And he also wrote, or maybe co-wrote, I Need Protection. So there's two songs here, two non-album tracks by Colin. And he got Terry to drum on it with him. He got Steve King on keyboards, Bert Larson on guitar, Steve Warren on backing vocals. Steve, Stephen Warren, congratulations. Recorder and backing vocals, Bridget Glossop, and that's interesting because Mick Glossop is the one who produced and engineered this. Oh, and Philip Vinal, or I don't know how you say his name. He's on. He was the tape operator, but he contributed backing vocals as well. And guitar, Rob Hendry added. He was a guitar player on here too. Bass is the Colonel, and like I said. So and then so you got two guitars. You got Rob Hendry and Bert Larson, and of course Terry on drums. So, and it just looks just like it's your regular red and green label, but I know when I'm looking at people's videos, I want to see the record. So here it is. Here's the record. I'm happy to show it to you. Right? You could find copies of this single all over the place because I think a lot of people weren't paying attention. They didn't realize this was an XTC related product. So, right? So these are all over the place. I should have just picked them all up because I would have the monopoly on these things if I bought them all, huh? For sale. Anyway, all right, now Sergeant Rock. All right, Sergeant Rock. He's gonna help me. VS 384. So here's the third single off of Black Sea. It's an edited version of Sergeant Rock. And this is a poster sleeve, as the hype sticker said, I think. Yeah, includes free poster. And I love the custom label for this one. So awesome. Sergeant Rock with the font and the stripes. The B-side is a live version of Living Through Another Cuba and Generals and Majors. It's like a little 2-song medley. And it's about 7 minutes long. Performed live, recorded by the Manor. It was recorded live somewhere. I cannot read it because it's not enough light over here. And this is a very dark label. So just look it up. If you want to know, check it out. It's on Discogs. You read about all this stuff on Discogs right there. But what a great single. And here's a double-sided poster. I'll show it to you. Be really careful. All right, I'm going to show you this side first. Awesome. Right? Cool poster, right? And here's the other side of it is actually a cartoon with all the lyrics. So you can follow this cartoon and sing along. Sing along with Andy, who is feminist, and I understand. You know, it's like he was disappointed in himself for writing such a macho shithead song, I guess you could say. But like I said in the last video, Andy, give yourself a break. It's a great song. It is a great song of a character who probably needs to have his face punched in. That's all it is. You know, it's a macho shithead. It's probably good to write songs about macho shitheads. People need to learn that that's not cool, right? So, anyway, here is your poster sleeve. I try to be very gentle with it and take real good care of it because this is 21 years old. No, 21 years old. It's 41 years old. This package is 41 years old, and look at it. It looks brand new. Yeah, this plastic sleeve that you store it in is kind of beat up, but who cares? All right, so there you go. Sergeant Rock. All right, here is, I believe this is a French pressing of Sergeant Rock. No poster sleeve. And it's got a different B-side. It's like the poster, but there's nothing else there. Here's the back of it. And the B-side is side 2 is Strange Tales, and Officer Blue, which happens to be the B-side of Respectable Street in England. About to show you that. But here is, I believe this is French. Come out. Here it's a European single with a big hole. Right? And Sergeant Rock. And a notable difference between the A side of this single and the A side of the British poster single there, this version is the LP version. It's the long version. And here you go. Strange Tales, and Officer Blue. And this is much longer than I thought it was going to be, Sharon. Ashton is still awake. Oh boy, the kid's still awake. My grandson is not sleeping. He has been talking 90% of the time, the trip. Oh, great. Ashton's talking up a storm. All right, so that is the, yeah, printed in France. I was right. See, it says it right there. Well, of course you can't see it because it's it's not in focus. But anyway, it's French. All right. Here is Respectable Street. VS what? VS 407. These messages are flashing by me and are distracting, but as long as they're okay. All right, here is Respectable Street. This is the British single, the British picture sleeve. I love it. And it is a regular red and green label. Red and green label. And the B-side of this is Strange Tales and Officer Blue, of course. We got done talking about that. So this is VS 407. I can't do what Mazzy does, where he edits his videos, man. I'm not going to edit this. I'm not going to do it. I apologize. I'm not going to do it. Oh, here's the B-side, by the way. All right. There's the group. There's your legal stuff, right? Anyway, and Respectable Street is a different, it's a slightly different, well, they changed some of the words around, and there's a little bit of Terry singing on here. So the editing is a little bit different. It's a slightly different version. It's not just an edited version of the LP track. There's some differences in the mix, and the words are different. All right. Here is a split single that includes the non-album. Well, it's not on an XTC album. It's on the soundtrack for Times Square. Can't wait to hear the words. My wife talking about Ashton. But here is Take This Town. The B-side is Babylon's Burning by the Ruts. I forgot for a second. So here is a non-album single on RSO Records. And it's got this ugly molded silver label. I like it when it's got a nice, interesting custom paper label. That's always a lot of fun. You know I like that. Take This Town. It's a nice quirky little tune for the soundtrack Times Square with Christy McNichol. All right. There's the B-side of that, if you want to see it. Times Square, New York. Is it? Yeah. All right. Ha 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 ha. Here's something that's new that was not in the last video. Canada is so cool because they really stepped up to the plate. Here is Love at First Sight, a song that's on the album Black Sea. This was released in America, and I can't remember what the B-side was. But in Canada, our good friends up north, they released what is a 4-track EP here. The A-side is Love at First Sight, slightly sped up. All right, now if you have a variable speed on your record, your turntable, you can always turn up the speed on your LP, and you'll hear what this sounds like, the A-side. But the B-side has 3 live tracks on it that are exclusive to this track, to this record, I should say. And I don't believe that they were ever released on any of their box sets. I don't think that they're on there. And what you have here is Beat Town, 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Roads Girdle the Globe, 4:46. And This Is Pop, 2:27. So you get like 11 minutes worth of music. Almost 11 minutes worth of music on this B-side. It's 33 1/3, and it's beautiful because it's got the that font from the album on both sides. And this was a holy grail for me. I was looking for it for a long time, and I was living in Richmond, Virginia, and I saw it available for sale And I wrote to the guy and said, yeah, I want to get it. And then I never sent him the money. Like a dope. I never sent him the cash for it. And it was, maybe it was like 10, 12 bucks, or maybe it was even $20. I can't remember what it was, what he wanted. I paid, I can't remember what I paid for this. I think it was 40 bucks. I think it was $40 for this. The important thing about this record, this very single, is that it is in such mint shape that even these 3 songs on the B-side sound great. They sound great. You would think they might have some kind of like distortion and noise and crap in there, but it's actually a really good pressing. So here's to that, man. I was so glad to get that. I always wanted that. And I can't believe I blew it years ago. But I finally got my hands on it, so I'm thrilled. So let's move along quickly. Here is Senses Working Overtime. Now, English Settlement. No More Black Sea. There's, what, 7, 8 singles I have from that album? Maybe 10, actually. All right, here is Senses Working Overtime, and this is a strange fold-out sleeve. I wonder if Andy designed this. Let's lift this up. The single comes out. I'll show you the single in a minute. But this thing folds open all over the place. And here's the front. The face folds down. Boop. You get the songs for the 2, because this is a 3-song EP. You get 2 songs on the B-side. Here are the lyrics for those 2 songs. Here are the lyrics for Senses Working Overtime. And here's all the visuals to fill your senses. All the beautiful colors. And on that side, here on this side, when you open it up, you get these things, all these different beautiful things to look at. Right? I love birds. So you get this funky fold-out sleeve that has a stamp that says Made in England. Made in England, says it right there. Here's the back. All right. Here's the guys. Hey guys. Andy with his kitty. And here's the custom label for this particular single, and it says Made in England again. I guess they really want you to know it's made in England. Look, it's upside down even. Come on, guys, So stupid. But anyway, that stamp don't bother me. It's kind of cool, actually. Gives my record a little bit of character. And here is Blame the Weather. One of my favorite Collins songs ever, I think. I love Blame the Weather. I do it all the time. That's bullshit. I love a sunny day, but I love a rainy day just as much as a sunny day. I don't care. I like every minute of the day. Senses Working Overtime. It's a little bit edited. And Blame the Weather and Tissue Tigers, The Arguers, a great Andy song. A lot of energy in that piece of music, for sure. Of course, it was a hit. This is working overtime here. Let's put it back in here the way it came out. Oh, I have to put it this way for it to fit. All right, and let's just put this folded back up. XTC stickers. I just keep it with this. So that's kind of a special little package. I'm pretty sure Andy probably came up with that, probably developed that little fold out thing. Here is a regular sleeve. Oh yeah, VS, what is it? VS 462? Ah, come on, guys. What is this? Oh, look at that. That's something I didn't even know was, what the? I'm like, what is this? I thought it was some kind of a note that somebody. All right, anyway, there you go. There's a sticker that came. I don't know where this came from. It didn't come with this record, I can tell you that. But it was getting in my way. I'm trying to find the catalog number for this, and man, my eyes are shot. 462, VS 462. The writing is so small, I almost couldn't read it. But anyway, yeah, I got a little sticker in there, Black Sea or English settlement sticker. I didn't even know. I learned a lot of new stuff today about my own collection that I forgot I had. All right, here is Ball and Chain. XTC, these two guys were so prolific. Here you got two singles, the first two singles, and you have 4 more songs, and they're great songs. Ball and Chain is, of course, on the album. And I think that this is the album version. I don't think it was edited, if I remember correctly. Here is a custom label for it. Oh, both of these were 12-inch singles, by the way, which I have, of course. But Ball and Chain here is the 7-inch EP, Ball and Chain. And the labels are very similar, of course, in design. So Ball and Chain, and here's the B-side. And the B-side is, 2 songs, Punch and Judy, and Heaven is Paved with Broken Glass. Now, if I had a penny for the number of times that I said what I'm about to tell you, I'd be rich, because the version of Heaven is Paved with Broken Glass is a different mix, and actually a longer edit as well, than the one that is released on some singles and beeswax and all those other compilations where they have B-sides. Also, Rag and Bone Buffet. Heaven is Paved with Broken Glass is on Rag and Bone Buffet, but it's an alternate mix that is on the beeswax record that came out in 82 or 83. Came out after English Settlement came out. They needed a stopgap after Andy stopped touring. So they put that greatest hits out, and they have that B-side collection that was released with the A-side collection. But anyway, it's a great version. It's never been released unless it was released digitally. Maybe you can find it digitally, but it was never released on CD single or on any physical medium. That's what I'm trying to say. Heaven is paved with broken glass. And man, I love that song. Here it says stereophonic. This is beautiful. I love that label. That custom label. Isn't that sweet? All right. Let's move on. Oh, of course, the cover is very cool. Very cool. Just realized I have a couple of 10-inch singles. But I should have more than that, actually. I have a bunch of 10-inch XTC related records. Here's the third and the final single from English Settlement. I'm surprised that they didn't put a fourth single out because you had so much music on that album. But here's No Thugs in Our House. And what a beautiful package this is. Now, take a look in there. It's actually part of the record. There's a hole here. All right, so you can see it's like you're looking out the window at the house that's behind your house or something. It's so cool. And this opens up. All right, and there you go. There's your kitchen table in your little house. There's your fridge. There's your stove. Here is, if you want to follow along, the words for No Thugs in Our House. I'm going to carefully remove this single from this package here. All right, here, right? And here is, there's your officer. Here's dad, mom and dad with the waspy face. Mom with the waspy face. And there's dad, mom and dad singing, oh! And here's the judge. He's going to throw the book at them for being, you know, such lousy parents because Graham, he's a teenager. Graham turned out to be a thug. And mom and dad didn't know anything about it. I don't know. What are you going to do? It's very sad. All right, so here is the custom label for the A side. No Thugs in Our House. Absolutely beautiful package, this single. And here is the B-side. There's 3 songs on the B-side. What are they, you ask? Right? You want to know? Chain of Command and Limelight. 2 songs. Those are the 2 songs that were on the free single that came in Drums and Wires. And then a third, very short instrumental track, Over Rusty Water. It's only 1 minute and 25 seconds. But it is the music that was not available elsewhere. It's only on this single, and you can get it on Rag and Bone Buffet. So, I absolutely, and I know I've said this many times and I'm saying it again, but I absolutely love this discography. It's beautiful. So let me put it back. Put it back in here. Here, and there you are. Back to the beginning again. Wow, this is going to be one hell of a long video. Here is Great Fire. I'm going to try to pick up the pace a little bit. Great Fire. Oh, next album. It is Mummer. Great Fire. And Gold. So check out this custom label. Both sides looked like this. All right. VS 533, I think it says. Oh. VS 553. VS 553. There it is. All right, so here is the paper sleeve. And here's what happens when... Oh, let's put the record back. Here's the record goes in here. And here's what happens when you put it in the plastic sleeve. Now, check it out. Whoa. See, now you're getting the proper effect. So, right? Wow. I love it, man. I don't know. I bet you Andy came up with that. He said, that's cool. I love Andy. And even if he didn't come up with that, I love him anyway. All right, so there you go. XTC, Great Fire and Gold. Two great songs. I remember when Mummer first came out and I was listening to it. And I listened to Great Fire and I listened to Gold. And I thought, these are weird songs. And they didn't grab me at the time. But I would play the album, I'd put it on, and each time I would play it, the songs appealed to me more and more until Mummer has become one of my favorite albums by XTC. I love the songs. I love the fact that it's just a collection of songs. There's no... I mean, there were different sessions. Some of the initial versions of the album got rejected, and they said, come up with something else. So they came up with more songs, different sessions, different drummers. Terry's on 2 or 3 of the songs. Pete Phipps is on some of those songs, I believe. And there's such a variety of styles. That appeals to me tremendously. And here's the next single. Wonderland. And VS 606. Now we're in the 600s, right? So here's Colin's song, Wonderland. And Wonderland's cool, man. I like it. The B-side is a great song by Andy called Jump. But here is the custom label for Wonderland and Jump. Of course, it's the same, really. This record is in beautiful shape, like just about all of them. See the back of this? I'm sorry. I'm trying to show everything about each of these releases. Jump and Wonderland and Jump. Just a beautiful collection of XTC's discography, pretty much their entire discography, basically. Here is a French version of Wonderland and Jump. It doesn't even have, it's got a silver label. It doesn't even have a paper label, so let's not even bother. Basically the same thing. Here is, back in the 80s, a lot of these picture sleeves were coming out. So VSY 606, so that's the catalog number for this. Instead of VS 606, there's a little Y there for, I don't know why. I don't know why it's there to differentiate. But why Y? Why not a P? VSP, like picture sleeve or picture disc. All right. So anyway, Wonderland and Jump on a picture sleeve. I think you could, if you're interested, you could probably find these for a relatively inexpensive price because they pressed a ton of them. And these were playable. They're a little noisy, slightly noisy. Genesis was on Virgin Records, and they put out their 3x3 single right around the same time this came out. And they put that out on a picture sleeve as well. So yeah, Virgin Records was really into putting out those picture discs. Here is the third and final single from Mummer, Love on a Farm Boy's Wages. What a great piece of music this is. And here is another double single, right? Looks like a wallet. Looks like my wallet. No money in here, just like my wallet. So, Love on a Farm Boy's Wages, and the B-side is In Loving Memory of a Name, an album track. And it's one of my favorite Colin Moulding songs. Colin just wrote such great songs. Well, I mean, Andy did too, of course. Good God. But man, I love that song, In Loving Memory of a Name. And here's the inside of this guy's wallet. He's got this picture of his girlfriend here, or maybe maybe that's his wife. Maybe it's his girlfriend. I don't know. The other two songs, the B-sides of, the two songs on the second single are Desert Island and Toys. And oh yeah, man, these have custom labels. So I will show you. This is Love on a Farm Boy's Wages, custom label, right? And In Loving Memory of a Name, there's the church. There's bells at the end of that song. And of course, that's where the church comes in. Oh, not to mention the spacing out. Here is Desert Island. Yeah, you can see the island there. I remember looking at this and I couldn't figure out what the heck the visual was there because it's so faint. But it's an island, duh. And of course it's an island. And here is Toys, and you can clearly see the face of a doll or something in the middle of there. So there you go. Desert Island and Toys. Toys is definitely, I love both these non-album tracks, man. But Toys, I love it. It's such a freaking cool song. Desert Island's great too, man. Desert Island's awesome. There you go. Somebody's wallet in my collection. All right, and oops. I was wondering why that felt so heavy. That was two singles. Here is XTC. The end of the year, they got all festive and they put out "Thanks for Christmas." The Three Wise Men. It's not XTC. It's a totally different group. It's not even the same guys. It's the Three Wise Men, and David Lord produced it. So it's by the Three Wise Men and the Good Lord. And so that's the A side. VS 642. And the B side is Countdown to Christmas Party Time. So these guys were just getting down. And here's your Thanks for Christmas. Here's your custom label. The B side is identical. Same label. But side 2. Here, I'll show it to you. What the hell? Countdown to Christmas Party Time. You'd think the Camels would be going the other way to the party, you know, after visiting the kid. I don't know. What do I know? What do I know about tradition? What the hell am I talking about? All right, man. Thanks for Christmas. One of my favorite perennial holiday tunes. Nothing like a good holiday tune. And that was VS 642. Oh, here's VS 763. What could it be? Well, in 1985, XTC went away. So the Dukes of Stratosphere, they reared their psychedelic head and put out a 5 or 6 song EP, 12-inch record. But oh, that's so funny, I can't remember if there's 5 songs or 6 on there. But here is the single that came out of from that record, the Dukes of Stratosphere. This is the Mole from the Ministry, and my God, if you're gonna hear a song that sounds like I Am the Walrus, this is it, man. This is such a great piece of music, the Mole from the Ministry. The B-side is My Love Explodes. It's an old Virgin Records label that they're using for this awesome psychedelic artist that they call the Dukes of Stratosphere. The Dukes of the Stratosphere. I saw somebody did a video and he called them the Dukes of the Stratosphere. Where's that coming from? The Dukes of the Stratosphere. It's the Dukes of Stratosphere. Let's get it together, sir. No offense. All right, so it comes in this black sleeve, but I have to put everything in a lined sleeve, so there you go. All right. Only one single came from that record, the Duke's first record. So here is the Big Express was the next XTC album, and they released this single, All You Pretty Girls, and the B-side is Wash Away, another B-side, a non-album B-side. Now, I was trying to get my hands, oh, that's true. I was going to get my hands on a regular sleeve, but this is the special edition 2-part sleeve, and look what happens. There is this has this cutout, and here is the like that's me with my tat. Ooh. All You Pretty Girls, right? So here's the sleeve, VS 709, and Wash Away. 4 is All You Pretty Girls, and aft is Wash Away, right? And again, there's a custom label. Get off. All You Pretty Girls, right? And the B-side is Wash Away. It looks just like the A-side, except it's got Wash Away on it. So for the sake of brevity, I guess it's a little late for that. We'll just do this. Put it back. All right. This actually came in a little plastic fold-up sleeve. Had a little flap, very flimsy, and it had a little sticker that sealed the flap shut. So I just took that little sticker and put it on here, because I'm so clever. All right. Next single from the Big Express is This World Over, one of the prettiest songs I think that Andy's ever written. Jesus Christ, it's so beautiful, and it's a song that literally would make me cry when I would listen to it, the album, or if I put on this single. This was released back in '86. So we're going back a ways. I remember just putting the song, I would hear the song, and it was so heartfelt and so beautiful, and it was about such a horrible thing. Where, ooh, oh no, just detached. Every Here are your postcards. Every every city would look just like this after that bomb would go off, right? And Andy sung about how this used to be what London looked like, and it was just beautiful the way that Andy wrote this song. It was like a perfect, beautiful song. I guess I'll have to get some get the glue and glue this back in place, which would be really easy. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just leave it like this. I actually have another copy of this. Oh, you want to look at the single, I'm sure. You only have to push it once, guys. Only once. Push it once, boom, it's over. This world over. What a beautiful song. What a most beautiful song. All right. All right. Yeah, maybe I will glue that back in place. But anyway, yeah, 40, well, not 40 years, from 86, so that would be 96, 2006, 2016, so 35 years ago. Holy cow. 35 years ago. Yeah, see, here's the other one, the other copy I have, and here's the little sticker that held the cards in place. So, 2 copies, right? Here's Wake Up. This is the 3rd single from Big Express, and Wake Up is a great song. Jesus. B-side has Take This Town and Mantis on Parole, the Homo Safari series of number 4. It's funny because they skipped this because there are 2 songs on a 12-inch single from Mummer that has numbers 5 and 6 from the Homo Safari series. But here's Mantis on Parole, and that's number 4. And I remember, where's number 4? Maybe it was that little instrumental from. I was thinking maybe it was that little instrumental from the B-side of No Thugs in Our House or something. That wasn't it. It's Mantis on Parole, and they just went back to it. So anyway, here is Wake Up, and here is the B-side, the custom B-side with Take This Town and Mantis on Parole. So it's a little different. Custom labels. You gotta love it. Right. And what's next? Oh, okay, we're getting kind of close to the end here. Close to the end, down by the river, down at the end. Skylarking. And here is the first single, Grass. And the B-side was My God. No, Dear God. My God, it's Dear God. So Grass. Here's the back of the single. And here is this beautiful custom label. Grass. And, oh, what is this? VS 882. 882. Those flecks of white just are magnified by my phone. It's so bizarre. But anyway. So I gotta clean your records before you play them. Grass. Dear God. And Dear God was such a popular song. Right? Dear God was such a popular song that, well, look, there it is. Dear God. Ouch. Here's the words. The B-side is Big Day. Here's your custom label. Dear God. And Big Day. Both referencing religion to some degree, because, you know, Dear God is certainly, God's a religious figure, right? And of course, Big Day refers to that big day. That big day, right? And where does that happen? Usually in a church. You know, Big Day. Dear God and Big Day. So, VS 960. Oh, The Meeting Place. There's the third single off of Skylarking, The Meeting Place. And The Man Who Sailed Around His Soul. That is an album track. Here's your custom label. Man who sailed around his soul. Here's The Meeting Place. That's the A side. All right. And XTC got a little fancy because what they did, oh, there's a little bit of a in there. Come on, Doc. What are you doing to me, man? See, look what they did. See? There's a single in there, see? Looks cool. Okay, that's actually that's printed on here. There's a card in the inside of this thing, but that's hand is printed on the plastic here. And the single, oh my God. This single is, there's actually XTC and some writing etched in here into the plastic, but you can barely see it. I can barely see it. In the dead wax, I can see VS 912, I think it says. And here's the B side. It's amazing because what's etched in the dead wax is more visible than what's etched in the label, the part of where the label is supposed to be. They just yeah, 912. supposed to be able to read the label, but you can't see it. I can barely see it just looking at it and forget about it on a phone. So anyway, that is that. And oh, the Dukes of Stratosphere. Again. Look. You're a good man, Albert Brown. Vanishing Girl. And this is a great single. Not only does it have a really cool psychedelic label, see, it happens to be marbleized purple, and it's beautiful. Beautiful. And Vanishing Girl. Yeah, Vanishing Girl. Whoop! She's gone. Magic. Oh, there she is again. Well, anyway, what a great little record. I certainly love that colored vinyl. Here is one of the here's one of the new additions to my collection. Bags of Fun with Buster. The hit Viz comic pop record by Johnny Japes and his Jesticles. Squeak, squeak. Squeak, squeak. Look at that. This guy's got some balls. So, and here's the B-side. It's got a little cartoon that says, I don't care what your name is, you're not bringing those in here. No. How do you guys walk around with those things? I don't know. And here is the custom label for this funky little record. And the Scrotal Scratch Mix. VIZ1. That is the catalog number for this. Bags of Fun with Buster. And so Johnny Japes and his Jesticles, written and produced by Andy Partridge, Neville Farmer, and Dave Gregory, featuring John Otway. So, and this was from 1987. Oh. Yeah, 1987. Jesus, this is one long video. The next to the last album, Oranges and Lemons. And here's the first single from it, The Mayor of Simpleton. Here's the B-side. B-side is One of the Millions. They're both album tracks. The non-album tracks were released on CD singles that came out. They weren't paying too much attention to vinyl 45s at this point. The market was really pushing the CDs. So they didn't even give you a non-album track, and they had plenty. Right? And even the labels themselves were not all that attractive. It's like they were really pushing you to buy CDs and CD singles. We got a new product for you, you guys. Here, it sounds even better. And yeah, initially I was really like into CDs, of course. It's great. No more pops, no more ticks. It sounded crystal clear. Of course, the loudness wars started early on, I guess you could say. But my hearing was so damaged by years and years of smashing cymbals that I could hardly tell anyway. So, but oh, you want to see the B-side? Did I show the B-side? I think I did. Here's another copy of it with a silver label. No need to show that. Here is King for a Day. King for a Day. They put out some different mixes of this song. My favorite, of course, is the album version, which is the best, of course. King for a Day and Happy Families. Now we're talking. Here's a non-album track. Well, it was actually on the album She's Having a Baby soundtrack, Happy Families. Here's King for a Day. Here's Happy Families. This is a slightly different mix than the one that's on She's Having a Baby. That soundtrack, that original soundtrack, has a version of Happy Families that is slightly different mix. Slightly different, but audibly different. Oh, for crying out loud. Get in here. Holy mackerel. Happy Families. So there's actually two different versions. Then there is a, on YouTube, I found a, well, I didn't find it. Somebody else did and shared it, and it's an acoustic version of Happy Families with just Andy, and it's great. Andy's amazing, as we all know, which is why we're here. All right, and here is The Loving and Cynical Days. Beautiful, beautiful. And here, the label's white. It's white. And Cynical Days, 2 album tracks, right? Yes, of course. Oh my God. This is such a long video, it's ridiculous. I am just showing you what I have, so. Here is a boot. This is a great little boot, man. It's a double disc set, and it has, well, it's got some cool pictures inside, for sure. Here's the back. Here's the custom labels, right? All these labels look just like this, so good luck figuring out which is side A and side B. You have to look in the dead wax and you'll see it. I'm spotting it now. Wow, I gotta put these in those lined sleeves. I'll do that right after I get done with this video. But the songs on here are Scarecrow People and Mayor of Simpleton on side 1. There's a medley, Senses Working Overtime, Grass, and Lovin' a Farm Boy's Wages on side 2. Side 3 is Blue Beret, previously unreleased. And then a medley, Great Fire, Dear God, and Big Day. And then side 4 is King for a Day, medley, Rock the Boat, Hungry Heartbeats, and Welcome to the Garden of Earthly Delights. If you want to freeze it and take a picture of it, be my guest. No royalties were paid to the band for the creation of this record, which is a drag. but I did buy everything else that they put out. So it's like I bought everything they put out. Can you tell? And 2 more new additions. The Disappointed 7-inch. It's got one of these ugly. They really wanted to push you into getting CDs. So here you go. The Disappointed and The Smartest Monkeys. There were both album tracks. If you got the CD single, you would get a demo of The Smartest Monkeys. All right. Anyway, so here is what the heck with the all right, so here's this, and then the Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead. Now the slob that I bought this from, they had a whole bunch of XTC singles, but it turns out, and I got 2. I got a copy of I got a copy of The Disappointed from this guy and this. But they had this huge sticker right here, and I worked my ass off to get that sticker, to remove that sticker, and there's still residue. It's a really ugly, sloppy mess. I don't even want to show it to you. But I did get the Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead, and it also has one of those ugly silver sleeves or labels that look like this one. So, all right. The last 7-inch item I'm going to show you is this box set. And I'm just going to show you a couple because they all basically look the same. All right, this box, and they signed this little slip cover case thing. All right, there are 13 singles in here. That's 26 tracks. They're all from Apple Venus and Waspstar. That's what I said last time. Waspstar. Apple. These have all the tracks from those 2 albums, Apple Venus and Waspstar, plus 3 new songs. 13 7-inch singles. So here you go. All right, and here you go. And of course, the 3 new songs are Where Did the Ordinary People Go?, which was the A side of disc 12, and then they put Playground on the B side. And disc 13 has the song Spiral and Say It. Those two songs. There you go. You can see that beautiful, whatever that treatment is. I don't know what that is. But here you go. You know, everything I'm doing here to try to shorten this video is making it longer, and it's so annoying. Oh my God. You're probably as annoyed as I am. River of Orchids and my brown guitar. You know, if you take all these picture sleeves, all these singles, and pull them out, you can make 2 different puzzles using the A side and the B side. It's amazing. Okay. I'm going to show them all to you. Easter Theater. I'm the Man Who Murdered Love. I'm Colin. Let's do this smart. smart about it. Oh boy. Knights in Shining Karma and in another life. Yeah, right? It's beautiful. Here, let's pull out one of the records. They all look like this and this. Okay, so you have one side has a white label, one side has a black label with white fonts. Harvest Festival, the wheel and the maypole. The last balloon, stupidly happy. Here's the A side. Where did the ordinary people go? And playground. And here is, because I wanted to get to the last single because it's so cool. It's very different. Spiral. See it? And Say It. Which I thought was very clever. And I love it. Okay? And now, real quick, 4 more. Ouch. Oh, my back. Oh, my God, my back. Is it just 3? Maybe it's just 3. Here is my 10-inch single of Disappointed with the Smartest Monkeys and Humble Daisy. Right? Such a beautiful single. And I even got a nice inner sleeve that's lined to protect the doggone thing. And because it's such a beautiful custom label. Look at that. Right? Right? Beautiful. Oh, there is a 4th one. I'll get it before we hang up here. Here is my 12-inch XTC's ball and chain. And No Thugs in Our House. This is the special Canadian release that at first glance, it looks black, but it's actually a very thin record. And it actually has, it's actually green, and you can see through it. You can see right through it. I can actually see right through it. I'm looking at you right now. Well, not you. I'm looking at me. Ugh. Here, I'll show you. Look. See? could see right through it. Told you. It's green. I had to do that just to demonstrate how this is not solid. All right. It stopped. Oh my God. Two more. Here's Andy Partridge and Robin Hitchcock, right? Just picked this up. Look, I don't even have a line sleeve for this. I ran out. I have so many 10-inch records. Side A. 4-song EP with Robin Hitchcock and Andy. So nice. Here's the B side. I gotta play this again because I have played this and I remember really enjoying it, and I can't remember a damn thing about it now. And I swear to God I wasn't drinking that day. I don't think. All right, and then of course there is one more. Wow. What the hell is it? I feel so dumb. Foo Fighters. Ah. Here's another one. Ah, I feel so stupid. Look at this. I can't find. Oh, I bet I remember where this is now. Here it is. Yeah, two more, for crying out loud. This one, of course, Apples and Oranges, and Humanoid Boogie. My complaint about this, and these are great songs. I love Andy when he goes psychedelic. I was going to say psycho, but when he goes psychedelic, I love what he does. What a custom label. But what was so stupid about what they did with this, and I don't know why they did this. They got stereo and mono versions of both of these songs. But what they did was they put the stereo and mono version of the same song on the same side. Why not make one side stereo and one side mono? Right? Here's the mono side, right? And then here's the stereo side, or I don't know. They should have just put Apples and Oranges and Humanoid Boogie stereo on side A and mono on side B. Actually, I'd put mono on side A and stereo on side B. That's what I would do. Yeah, go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong. Why I oughta. And then, of course, Terry Chambers and I. Colin's so cool. Colin's great. Great aspirations. Right? And of course, this has Scatter Me, Greatest, Kenny and Comrades of Pop, about the gang's time in XTC. This pops right out. It literally popped out of the package. Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome. I fucking love you guys. Wow. Ooh. I was trying to keep it clean. All right, here is the custom label. And here is the other custom label for this. It's just a beautiful little package, and they're 4 great songs. And so that is everything. That is my XTC vinyl 7-inch collection with the bonus 10-inch collection at the end here. And that's it. That's 2.5 hours. It's more than 2.5 hours, and it's more. I'm sure that half of you guys are not even watching anymore. So anyway, I hope the ones who stuck around liked it, and I'm gonna go. Have a great day yourselves. Goodbye.